Ethan had always been fascinated by technology. From an early age, he was the type to take apart old radios, build his own computers, and tinker with whatever circuits he could get his hands on. But he never expected technology to turn against him. It all started with a simple gift. His older brother, Jason, had sent him a high-end drone for his birthday. It arrived in an unmarked black box with a single note attached. "Thought you might have fun with this. Happy birthday, bro." The drone itself was sleek, matte black with an almost military-grade finish. The design was unlike any recreational model Ethan had ever seen. And there was something unsettling about the way it felt in his hands. There was no brand name, no serial number, just a single symbol etched onto the body, an unblinking eye. Still, Ethan couldn't deny his excitement. He'd always wanted a top-tier drone, and this one was far more advanced than anything on the consumer market. The camera feed was crisp, capturing details in stunning clarity. The way the wind rippled through the trees, the tiny insects moving in the underbrush, the distant rustling of unseen creatures. At first, everything was fine. Then it started acting off. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Ethan took the drone out for another flight. He sent it soaring over the treetops, marveling at the way it responded to his controls. But when he tried to bring it back, it refused. It hovered at the edge of the tree line, its red indicator light pulsing like a heartbeat. Frowning, Ethan adjusted the settings on his controller, attempting to recalibrate the connection. But there was just no response. He tried restarting the app, but still nothing. The drone just hung there in the air, its unblinking camera pointing directly at him. Then, without warning, it moved, on its own. It tilted slightly, as if adjusting its gaze. Then dipped lower, closer to the ground. A chill ran down Ethan's spine. The controls were completely unresponsive now. He jabbed at the emergency shutdown command, but the drone ignored him. Then it shot up into the sky and vanished into the darkness. That night, as Ethan lay in bed, he heard it, a faint buzzing outside his window. The sound was high-pitched, unnatural, like a swarm of insects, but mechanical. He peered through the blinds, expecting to see the drone hovering outside, but the yard was empty. The noise persisted for several more minutes before finally just fading away. The next morning, the drone was sitting on his back porch. It should have been dead after running all night. The battery life on high-performance drones like this wasn't very good. And yet, when Ethan picked it up, the power indicator still blinked a steady green. That's when he decided to reset it completely. He plugged the drone into his laptop, intending to wipe its system back to factory. But the moment he connected it, his screen started to flicker. Lines of unreadable code scrolled across the monitor, faster than his eyes could track. Then the drone's camera feed popped up. It was live, and it was inside his house. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. The image on the screen showed his living room. The drone was somewhere inside, with him, but he was alone. Wasn't he? Heart pounding, he turned on every light in the house, checking each room, each shadowed corner. But nothing. The drone was nowhere to be found. But when he returned to his laptop, the feed had now changed. It showed his bedroom. More specifically, it showed his bed. It showed him, asleep. Ethan's stomach twisted in horror. The footage was from last night. The drone had been in his room, watching him, recording him. He moved without thinking, grabbing the drone and slamming it onto the floor. He reached for a hammer and brought it down again and again until the plastic shell shattered. The red light flickered one last time before going dark. Then the buzzing returned, louder this time. He turned towards the window, and his blood ran cold. More drones, dozens of them, hundreds of them, hovering in the night sky, their red lights blinking in unison like some sort of mechanical hive mind. They moved in perfect synchronization, in eerie precision that sent a terror crawling up Ethan's spine. The walls trembled, the shadows deepened, shifting unnaturally. The red eyes of the drones pressed against the windows, filling every crevice, every gap. Then one by one they began forcing their way inside, slipping through cracks, through vents, through any opening they could find. The buzzing was inside his head now, vibrating through his bones. Ethan backed against the wall, his pulse a hammering drum. Then, nothing but silence. The screen on his phone lit up with a message. It read, "Welcome to the Hive." Ethan screamed as the darkness of hundreds of drones surged forward, consuming him completely.